Please welcome to the Leon Loft, J.S. Ondara. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here. Get cozy. Cool.
What would you like to start with?
This is a song called Lebanon.
Excellent.
In the water, the fire, I'll go wherever you go. In the valley, in the canyons, I'll go wherever you go. Hey love, I'm ready now. Can't you see this riot inside my veins? Hey love, I'm overcome by desire. How must I read? In the water, the fire, I'll go wherever you go. In the valley, in the canyons, I'll go wherever you go. Hey love, it's been 3 years now since you heard from Jesus of his chosen men. Hey love, you twist and turn till your colors wither, and there will be no man. In the water, the fire, I'll go wherever you go. In the valley, in the canyons, I'll go wherever you go. Oh, Lebanon, life is brief, don't sit alone in your constant fear. Open up, I shan't be like Canada. Oh, Lebanon, oh, Lebanon, life is brief, don't sit alone in your constant fear. Open up, I shan't be like Canada.
Well, here at the Leon Loft with J.S. Ondara, and welcome again. You were at Newport last weekend.
I was at Newport, yeah.
Congratulations, your first Newport play, right?
Yes, it was. Thank you very much.
Excellent. I want to go back a ways. Let's go back to your growing up in Nairobi, and you became a fan of American music, which is just terrific. American rock music, online and through the radio?
Yeah. Mostly radio at the time and CD vendors on the streets, in the market. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you didn't if I understand this correctly, and there's this wonderful narrative that you have on your website that you wrote, if I understand it correctly, you didn't actually understand the language you were hearing, you just loved the music that you were hearing.
Correct. Yeah.
And made up your own words.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you're listening to Smells Like Teen Spirit, for instance, and making up your own lyrics to it based on your words and the words that you had.
Yeah. I loved the song and I wanted to sing along, and I had no clue what he was talking about. And so I had to sing it somehow, and so I just made up my own words, and they made sense to me at the time.
Did it feel... And I'm sorry to ask, but what did that sound like, actually?
It was like gibberish.
Okay, all right. That's fair enough. Did the words, even though you didn't understand them, but I mean, clearly what you would have felt was the power, the emotion.
Yeah.
Did that connect with you?
Yeah, there's definitely something I connected to about the music, and I think it was very different, from anything I'd heard at that time. The language was very different. The sounds were very different. So for me, it was like this kind of spaceship that would take me to a completely different universe, where people spoke different, made different sounds, looked different. And it was kind of a journey into another world every time, kind of an escape for me it was.
Did you start writing at that point? Were you writing then, or were you just kind of taking it in?
I was fascinated with words from an early age, just writing little poems about the sun and about insects and weird things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a weird kid. I just wrote words, and that's sort of how it all began for me. The musical part, since I never really had access to instruments or anything, that came later on. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll cover that in a second. Now, and you found your way to Bob Dylan.
Right.
Through Guns N' Roses, which is awesome. A lot of people did. The guys laughing the loudest are the people who share that.
I know that guy for sure.
Yeah. Their cover of Knocking on Heaven's Door, and you know what? That's great. It exposed a whole new generation to some great songwriting.
It's the original.
Yeah. But in Nairobi, this is a city of 6-7 million people. Big neo-soul scene going on there, techno. Would there have been opportunities for you to go and hear that kind of music, Bob Dylan, playing in your home?
No.
Small clubs, coffee houses, that kind of thing?
Not really. I mean, it was mostly when I found folk music, when I found Dylan's music, the only place I could find it was at internet cafes. So I would go, instead of going to school, my mom would give me like money to take the bus to school, and I would just go to the internet cafe and spend all day listening to Dylan records and watching videos of him at Newport or something like that. So that was the only means of listening to that music, because I had to actively pursue it because I felt this connection with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it served you well. That lunch money went to a good cause.
My mom doesn't know, so please do not tell her.
What would you like to do next?
It's a song called Saying Goodbye. Oh, bitterness was right on the tongue. Oh, with the lips painted like the drum. Oh, loneliness, could Oh, nor the kiss of her scented balm. Oh, honey, I'm just getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. Oh, honey, I'm just getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. Oh, heaviness of these hurts should wait. Oh, now my flesh it arms with my pride. Oh, how long dress left no room to pray. So I confess to the gods of time. Oh, honey, I'm just getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. Oh, honey, I'm just getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. Getting good at saying goodbye. There goes my innocence. There goes my innocence. There goes my innocence. There goes my innocence. There goes my innocence.
Thank you so much. That was just lovely. Another song from the album called Tales of America. You came to America by winning a green card in a lottery. I'm not sure if people here actually understand that process real well and understand how competitive it is, in fact, that there is a lottery. It's that competitive to get the green card. Did you have to do this numerous times before you got one?
No, but not really, actually. I was trying for a while. I think as soon as I found folk music and I, sort of made this conscious decision that I wanted to move to America to try to be a folk singer. I tried for a long time, for a couple of years, to find a way to get to America. It's a little difficult. So, I tried applying for jobs, tried to applying for visas, school, anything to get me across the border. But nothing really worked for many years. And then just by chance, I suppose, turns out that a relative of mine applied for green cards for a bunch of us, and mine just happened to come through.
Wow.
Yeah.
And initially, your thought was, your private thought was, I'm going to be a folk singer.
Right.
But you, in theory, were coming to go to school. That's what you told your family.
That is what I told my family, yes. Well, I had to.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me leave otherwise. If I told them my true intention, they'll lock me in the house and think that I'm insane. So I told them what they wanted to hear. I was like, I'm going to go out there and I'll go to med school. It'll be great. And so they were like, oh, yeah, good. But as soon as I got on that flight, I was like, farewell. Now I shall do what I want.
And still, no access to a guitar. Like, you still weren't playing guitar at that point.
No, I wasn't. No. I just picked it up after I, got to America and picked up some temp job and saved up some money and bought a guitar and started learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as one would do if they're learning the guitar, you're going to learn covers, but you really wanted to get to your original songs as fast as possible, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. I've never been very keen on, covers. It's just I wanted to just find ways to some sort of chords or something to put across the poems that I was writing, so I can, travel to this place here and play the songs for you.
Hey, so I guess I'm curious where these two things met. So you were writing and you were keeping poetry and keeping that here, and then you get the guitar, and then you learn enough on the guitar to then go back to the writing and figure out how to create songs out of the writing, right? Is that close?
Yeah. So it's going back to the writing, to the poems, and trying to create melodies out of them. So yeah, the music is like an afterthought.
Yeah, right.
In a way, yeah.
Did you start a band? Were you looking for other musicians to help you do this, or?
Well, initially when I moved to Minnesota, that was a plan. I was like, oh yeah, I'll move to Minnesota and I'll form a band. It'd be great.
So simple when
so
you say
simple,
it that way.
Yeah. And then I got to Minnesota and I quickly realized I didn't know anyone. So I was like, oh, I cannot form a band. So the solution to that was, accompany myself, and that sort of motivated me to pick up the guitar and, spend a lot of time in it so I can just accompany myself, because I didn't really know anyone that could have helped me in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first gig?
First gig?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. I played open mics a lot. I don't know if you can call those gigs, but as soon as I could play like 2 chords, I was just like going to open mics and like narrating poems basically with like 2 chord progressions, because I was just very I was very eager, to travel the world to play these songs, and so I just learned in like a week or something, and I was out in open mics just narrating poems.
Were you scared, or did you? I guess again.
I was very scared.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't just a steady straight line all the way from start to finish. Okay, so yeah, you had to be somewhat nervous in front of anybody, no matter how many were there, right?
Oof. Yeah, I'm nervous right now.
Oh,
It's a very friendly. It was always a matter of ignoring that fear. The fear is always there every time. Before I left home and I was deceiving my family, there was a fear. Before I boarded the flight to move, there was a fear. I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You fool. So there's always a fear. It's always there. It's never gonna go. It's just ignoring it. That's what I do, at least.
Yeah.
Just ignore it every time. Yeah.
What else would you like to do?
A song?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Unless you want to narrate a poem, that's okay with me.
I could do a little dance.
I know that.
It would be terrible. But this is another song from the record. It's called Torch Song. My heart is never on time. Always a lead to be had. Oh, when it's about to break, said, son, hold on, you will find somebody to love. If you pray hard to you, God, He will lay her on a golden pod. She won't be a sinner like Angelina, nor like the woman from Ipanema. Oh, this time don't hold a torch to the sun. My heart is never on time. Always a little behind. Oh, when it's about to break, yeah, I close my eyes and count to 10. She said, love, it's not your fault that I found me somebody to love. You waited too long to show me that song. I was late then with his second son. He was dead of winter and I was bitter from the bickering of your preacher. Oh, this time don't hold the torch to the sun. My heart is never on time. Always a little behind. Oh, when it's about to break, yeah, I close my eyes and count to 10. My heart is never on time. Always a little behind. Oh, when it's about to break, yeah, I close my eyes and count to 10. When it's about to break, oh, when I call upon the angel Gabriel, oh, when it's about to break, suddenly I'm a child of Israel. Oh, when it's about, 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 oh, when it's about to break. Oh, when I call upon Mr. Jack Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you again. We're going back to the radio station now, and we're going to continue on here at the Leon Loft with J.S. Ondara, and his debut on the Verve Forecast label is called Tales of America. You'll be able to hear the full thing that we're doing here today by listening to Acoustic Café in just a few weeks. And we have been brought to you today by Ceci Mazda. And now, back to more music on Ann Arbor's 107.1. Awesome. Thank you. All right. By the way, now we can get to the visual. Now that we're not live, these are the visual aids. Tales of America This debut. It is a debut of your songs, your music, but you are working with this amazing group of musicians. It's a dream band. I mean, Andrew Bird, Taylor and Griffin Goldsmith from Dawes, this legendary bassist Sebastian Steinberg, and the producer Mike Viola. I mean, these are A-shelf players. Was it intimidating to work with guys like that on your very first project, or was it actually kind of comforting to have that level of experience in the room with you?
I suppose a bit of both. There's definitely a bit of intimidation. There's a bit of comfort as well, and there's just thinking, oh, my favorite band's coming to the studio. I better bring the best songs I possibly can. Mm-hmm. So it does something to your brain too, to kind of bring your best performance. Because I'm a big fan of all those people that played on the record, and felt very fortunate that they wanted to be involved in the project. Yeah,
and that's the other thing. You had to select songs, and I mean, there had to be that period before you were going to meet them, before you were going to work with them, where you had to really pick your best songs.
I was probably thinking...
Because they're writers, too. They're also writers. They're songwriters.
Exactly. So I was thinking, which songs here would these guys like? I think that was probably one of the things that helped narrow down the songs, too, is trying to, think, these are some of my favorite musicians, and I want to bring my best game when I come to the studio. Yeah.
By the time you actually got to that and selecting 10, 11 songs that we find on the debut, were there a lot of songs to choose from? I'm thinking there was years and years of material.
Yeah, it was over 100 songs. It was it was not fun trying to narrow it down. I remember at the time I started working with my team, and they were like, okay, send us all your songs. And I was like, well, you don't want that. That's a bad idea. Like, no, that's okay. So I sent the file with like 100 songs, and he's like, oh, can you narrow that down?
First cut.
Yeah.
First cut, yeah.
Yeah.
You had a song, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago called Revolution Blues that you didn't put on the album. It's an excellent song.
Thank you very much.
What was it about that one that it didn't make it to the record?
I mean, we just had way too many songs, really.
Yeah.
At some point, some people have to be kicked out.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, and I think I was focused on new songs at the time, songs that I'd recorded in that session with those musicians, and that was an older song, and so it just wasn't time for it. Sort of existed as its own little thing at the time when it was put out.
That's what I was also going to ask about this. If this was the group of songs that were your best, most recent, or if there were also older songs in there that just had stuck with you that you liked a lot and that stood up over time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those songs, I was playing them in open mics in Minneapolis. I'd written the words to Saying Goodbye, maybe 6 years ago.
Oh.
When I moved to America, they were just words at the time. I didn't really have a melody for them. I didn't know how to play guitar. Torch Song is also a really old song. I had those words written a long time ago. So I think the words for the songs have existed for a while, at least for some of them. And some words for songs like American Dream I kind of struggled with for a little bit, because I didn't know how to put across that idea in the best way possible, but I think I landed at something eventually.
Yeah. Do you want to do that one?
I could, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. He was just an American dream. He was just an American dream. Yeah, yeah. He was just an American dream. He was just an American dream. Yeah, yeah. Lover, don't you come down without a sword or a gun. Oh, the gold and the silver you're searching is hidden out there underground. There's a beast on the cloak, guarding against the folk. And the ghost from the river is watching. She won't let you get any close. He was just an American dream. He was just an American dream. Yeah, yeah. He was just an American dream. He was just an American dream. Yeah. Lover, don't make a sound. Bring your rifle around. When I say hallelujah, it's your cue to shoot at the head of the hound. Take just what you need, baby. Any more won't fit your bed. Go as fast as your feet they will carry, for the greater chase has begun. He was just an American dream. He was just an American dream. Yeah, yeah. He was just an American dream. He was just an American dream. Yeah, yeah. There's no catching a breath. There's no race till you're dead. There's no heaven or hell. There's no running away. Ooh, yeah, la, la, da, 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 da. Yeah, la, la, da, 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 da. Yeah, la, la, da, 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 da. Yeah, la, la, da, 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 da. Yeah.
It's just lovely. Thank you. You know, in this internet age, so you were posting covers on YouTube and such, but this had to do with radio. This is terrestrial radio, the Current in Minneapolis. It's a fine radio station. Does anybody know Minneapolis radio? By any chance? The Current in Minneapolis. What a great! They don't carry Acoustic Café, but that's fine. They're a wonderful station. Jim McGuinn, wonderful people. Anyway, you know, they started playing your music, and which helped to lead to a lot of this. And we're talking about the dream here. We're talking about this dream. It couldn't have been you couldn't have possibly even had this dream. You were at Newport last week. You toured with Neil Young this year. It's a pretty big dream. Have you had a chance to do, and you've done some international touring now as well.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to go home and play a show in Nairobi?
I have not, no. No, I don't think they know much about me there yet.
Okay.
But, I look forward to going back at some point and playing a big show. But, for now I'm spreading the gospel in the outside world. Yeah, in Acoustic Café.
Yeah, indeed. Except in Minneapolis. All right, but so, again, we're talking about a worldwide release. There had to be a point, at some point, where you had to kind of fess up to your family that, well, here's what I'm really doing.
Yeah.
Were you waiting for obviously not a worldwide release album, but were you waiting for some threshold in your own pursuit of this career before you shared that with your family so you could tell them?
I think they sort of figured it out eventually, thanks to the interwebs and YouTube and stuff like that. They saw videos of me, like, what's he doing? What's that? That's not school. I was visiting a relative of mine in Texas recently, and I was having a hard time convincing her that was me singing online, because she was like, "Oh, that's someone singing for you. You're lip singing," and this is someone who's known me all my life. So I think for a lot of people in my family, they're still a bit puzzled. They didn't really maybe see this coming out of me, like, that's not our son.
Well,
who's that?
And that was my final question, was now that this is out, you're doing this with some of the biggest names in music, frankly. What is their reaction now?
I suppose what we would call the biggest names in music, they wouldn't know what those are. So
fair enough.
They don't care. They're happy for me, because I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and so they're happy about that. But I think the gravity of what it is I'm doing, or what it is I want to do, or how far I want to take my career is not, I don't think they can't really compute that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Different language. That's a different
Yeah.
world.
It is, totally different.
Well, listen, thank you so much for spending time today. This was just lovely. What would you like to do last?
This is a song called Give Me a Moment.
Great.
Thank you. Where have you been? Love, it's not here. You've been out in Brazil, chasing the football team. Then you left for the hills of Los Angeles to find the man who sin, running around with Jolie. Well, it's not enough to tell all your friends we're in love. Oh, would you give me a moment so I can give you a moment? break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Give me a moment so I can give you a moment. Break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Where have you seen this woman of my dreams? I looked for so many years before I found her in Berlin. Soon she was gone like the wind, stolen by the scream. She said, love me or leave me. It's the new century. Well, it's not enough to have a place in your heart. Oh, 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 would you give me a moment so I can give you a moment? Break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Give me a moment so I can give you a moment. Break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Mama, 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 mama. Break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Ay, 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 ay. Break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Mama, 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 mama. Break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Ay, 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 ay. Break my heart, gonna tear it apart. Well,